All right, guys, this will be the trade to video. In this video, we'll be looking at the mega deal that went down this morning between Jack Kerr and Alex. So in this trade, Alex receives Jonathan Taylor, Kyle Pitts, and Khalil Shakir, and Jack receives Nico Collins, Alvin Kamara, and Keenan Allen. So the statements from each of these managers, Alex says that he's looking to acquire a true running back one, and he did so by acquiring the best player in this trade. He also now has the possibility of having the quarterback one, the wide receiver one, and the running back one. He believes his roster is built for a championship should they stay healthy. And then Jack's statement was he was looking to bring in value to help win both now and later. He's had a lot of injuries stack up within his lineup. He was also able to avoid trading CeeDee Lamb, even though Grayson was hoping he would have. All right, getting into the player analysis here, I'm going to put the players that Alex received on top, and I'm going to put the players that Jack received on the bottom. So Jonathan Taylor here, currently the running back 3, averaging 22.3 fantasy points per game. He obviously has the ceiling to be the best running back in fantasy football. High volume, high workload, great offense so far through the season. The one negative, if there is a negative with Jonathan Taylor, is that we've seen Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren take touchdowns near the goal line, but I mean, a true workhorse running back in Jonathan Taylor. And then with Nico Collins here, he's currently the wide receiver 20, averaging 13.5 points per game. A pro for him is he's an established wide receiver 1 in a high volume role, but the Texans offense has been off to a pretty slow start this year, so it's kind of hurt his early season production here, but an overall proven wide receiver in fantasy. Looking at the next players here, Kyle Pitts is currently the tight end 8, averaging 11.0 fantasy points per game. He's a top percentile athlete. Kyle Pitts has had hype every single fantasy season. It seems like actually except this season, but his big drawback obviously is he's pretty much failed to deliver on that hype. And then looking at Alvin Kamara here, he's currently the running back 24. It's pretty low for Alvin Kamara standards, averaging 11.3 fantasy points per game, but he's an elite receiving running back, so that PPR upside is always there. And then his downside obviously is in the bad Saints offense. And recently, Kendre Miller's been getting quite a bit of run down there, so been a bit of a split workload for Alvin Kamara. All right, now looking at the final two guys in this trade, Khalil Shakir, the current wide receiver 29, averaging 11.3 fantasy points per game. Pro for him is he's in a high-powered offense with the Buffalo Bills, but that high-powered offense is so good because there's so many weapons on that offense, so it's hard to predict week to week who's going to get the touchdown for the Bills. And then Keenan Allen here, currently the wide receiver 9, having a great season, honestly. 15.8 fantasy points per game. He's an elite slot receiver and a great safety blanket for Justin Herbert. And they have a lot of chemistry with each other. They've played with each other for a few seasons. The obvious drawback with Keenan Allen is he's pretty old. He's pretty deep into his career here, and he's relatively injury prone. All right, here's where I'm going to slow down a little bit and do a bit of lineup analysis. So looking here first with Alex's team, Alex has an extremely complete lineup. The only thing he was missing was a A-plus running back, and he got that with Jonathan Taylor. It takes a lot to acquire a player like that, but he was able to pull it off. With this trade, he now has an A-plus running back, a breakout candidate with Cam Scatterbo, another breakout candidate down there with Quentin Johnston, and then he'll have Puka and Rashee Rice. So Alex's team is really built to win a championship this year as long as his team's able to stay healthy. And then looking here at Jack's team, Jack has dealt with a ridiculous amount of misfortune with the CeeDee Lamb injury, the Tyreek Hill injury, Joe Mixon still hurt, Tyrone Tracy also hurt, Chuba Hubbard also questionable, but it was quite clear that Jack was going to need to make a move to address his wide receivers. So in this trade, he brings in Nico Collins as his new wide receiver 1. He also brings back a running back to fill in. Probably going to be his flex piece. He'll probably move Chuba up to the running back 2 slot, Kyron in the running back 1 slot, have Kamara at the flex. So That really leaves his only true hole as his wide receiver too, and he has a few fill-in options there as well. But I think this makes Jack's team be able to hang around as a true playoff contender, and was ultimately a necessary move for his team with all the injuries that he faces. When he gets CeeDee Lamb back, uh, he'll definitely be a very solid squad. So if he can kind of bail water until then, I think he'll be in a good spot. All right, looking at this trade overall, I really liked it for both sides. I think Alex did a great job of pouncing on an opportunity where a manager dealt with a lot of injuries and secured a player that typically is not tradable. So I think Alex did a great job there, really liquidating his depth for a true workhorse piece. And then for Jack, I think Jack did a great job getting a pretty close to maximized return for Jonathan Taylor in a situation where he really just had to make a move in order to remain competitive here throughout the rest of the season. So overall, I really like this trade. So that's all I got. Thank you, guys.